I'm really excited to see it all done. It's going to be fun to have that close enough to just drive up whenever I want. The ceilings, like everything about the space is perfect for a gym, and then like having the office right there, it's going to be a very cool environment for the employees and the gym members, for sure. Basically had like a little mini road trip here. I like to travel in comfort, right?
Oh, that's good.
Hour and a half later. Sorry about that, guys.
Remodeling things we're doing is like we are doing additions here with the showers for the ladies' changing room. So it's going to be out here. So we're going to have like a big wall here with the graphic message on as you enter.
Wow, Michael.
And here it's going to be a little bit like, hey, wait. So here,
that excites me.
Here is going to be like doors, like a multi-purpose room where you have you can have meetings, you have sofas, you have high tops, so you can sit there watch 2 and 2 or have like a personal trainer can have like a session or like a seminar. Yeah, so it's kind of like a multi-purpose park.
This is gonna be so cool.
Yeah, just the feeling when you enter the facility like this is
the feeling from when you get a glimpse of it from back there. You're like, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
the ceilings.
Yeah,
it's gotta be what, like a 30-foot ceiling? 30 or 40 foot? Yeah,
34.
That's
So it's pretty impressive.
It's gonna get loud in here in a very good way.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I'm gonna do the blueberry pancakes. Well, can you do blueberry and chocolate chips in them?
Sure.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So we're about to train legs, and normally I'll just do like white rice and whey protein, but hey, I'm in Dallas and I want to treat myself, and I've been hearing about this place every single time I come, but it seems like I'm like dieting every time I come here. So we are gonna try the House of Pancakes. I like doing this though back home too, like at just normal IHOP or whatever. What I'll do is, I'll get like pancakes from the restaurant. I'll usually do like blueberries or chocolate chips and use a bunch of syrup. So it's just, a bunch of carbs, a bunch of simple carbs basically, a bunch of sugar and, like flour basically from the pancakes. So, definitely a little bit of fat too if they're buttermilk pancakes, which these are. So, but my whole thing with breakfast is normally when I eat breakfast I feel like I can't move afterwards, and I think it's because all the breakfast meats are super high fat. So what I've been doing is like the pancakes that I want, and then like as I'm leaving the restaurant I'll do like 2 scoops of whey isolate, which is like a really light, quick digesting protein source, and I feel pretty good training on that meal, especially like for legs. It's a harder day, longer day, so it's good stuff. And who doesn't like a big stack of pancakes, right?
Okay, so here is there.
It does. It takes badass everything with an New York truck, but definitely badass legs, badass back. That's gonna be my weak point in the posterior chain right now. I hate that term, but yeah. So back needs to come up for sure. Hamstrings are good, could be great, everything could be great. So here we are, right, chasing greatness. I made a post about this actually. It was about always showing up, and despite how bad things got, always showed up, always did my rehab, blah 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 blah. Did what I was supposed to do, took care of business even though I didn't want to, and even though I was in a terrible headspace, and taking care of business every day, one thing led to another. Got to the point where I was actually recovering quickly, because for the longest time, like I was kind of crushed, because I had the same thing that Branch and Guy actually had done, the same procedures, and both of them, I vividly remember it, seeing Guy at Destination. He still had the damn stitches in his armpit. It was so recent, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, it feels good. I'm training, blah 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 blah." And me, I'm sitting here, 3.5 months post-op, and I can still barely raise my arm above my head without it hurting so bad I can't do it, or the shoulder joint just like clunking. So, I got like really, like nervous that, like my body wasn't ever going to be the same again. And, that sucked. It put me in a really bad headspace. But, we turned the corner, and, for the last, 12, 14 weeks, I've really been firing on all cylinders, not only physically and not as important, more importantly, so I've been firing on all cylinders mentally again for the first time, in a while. And, it's really cool hearing, the people closest to me, like my mom and dad, my girlfriend, my brothers, like my best friends, training partners, everyone's like, this is you, we haven't seen this person in a while, but, this is you. We can tell you're happy again. So I really liked the sumo-ish stance, the belt squats we did today. That belt squat machine's awesome with the way it's got the pegs for the band and everything. You're able to really overload the top portion of the motion, which is exactly what you want whenever you're doing those squats, to target your hamstring and especially your glute at the top, because your glute's such a strong, powerful muscle. And it's such a short part of the range of motion that really gets that glute contraction. You want it really overloaded at the top. So we were able to achieve that, double banded it, and then, not a lot of weight as you saw, but the tension at the top was brutal. It obviously, y'all saw it buried my ass. So I really liked that machine, was really impressed with how smooth it was. Took me a while to get it all dialed in and figured out, but that's any good piece of equipment that offers a lot of adjustability. So really liked the piece once we had it dialed in, really liked that exercise. Definitely probably going to throw those in when we get home. We got a pretty nice belt squat at the gym I train out of too, so definitely throw those in on hamstring day for a little while. Yeah, so detail-wise for that exercise, if y'all are going to give it a try, if you're doing it on a belt squat, you want the pulley, like where the cables like go wrapping around the pulley, to be somewhere in line with like the middle arch of your foot, like somewhere around your heel. So it's got a slight pull back. And you really want to focus. You'll see me, I'm not grabbing to like keep balance or take weight off. I'm grabbing so I can almost lean back a little more. You want to stay extremely big chested with that sumo stance. Stay on your heels the whole time. And when you get in that hole, really feel the tension through your glute and hamstring. And whenever you come out of the hole, focus on nothing other than driving your knees straight back. So you're squeezing your glutes and driving your knee back. And the top of the exercise, you see my legs aren't even locked out. I'm not doing that. We're keeping all the tension through your your glute, and then on the way back down, slow controlled descent, big chest, and then squeezing by driving those knees back and bringing your glute and hips forward. So working the hip extension. We talked about the function of your hamstrings and your glutes being knee flexion and hip extension, and hip extensions and the exclusive function of your glutes. So make sure you work that at the top of the motion. Basically squeeze your glutes for all they're worth. That's in a nutshell what I've been trying to tell you all for the last 10 minutes, it seems.
That's walnut.
Got it. So I've really been playing around with my form on stuff like a deadlifts, just because it's an exercise that I don't really feel as well as I can feel other exercises, but one that in my experience, when it's in my programming, my hamstrings look best. So, it's kind of one of those things I do despite not getting that great of a feel from them. You see today I had that slight incline board underneath my toes, really kind of helped me stretch and keep the pressure evenly distributed throughout my foot instead of, just like kind of ended up all the way up on my toes and becoming a lower back exercise. Definitely still playing around with it. Yeah. Meat and potatoes for me. You saw what the meat and potatoes for me is. I started with one of them, and that's seated. And the other one is glute ham. You know, the way I train everything is I train everything from okay, what's the function of the muscle standpoint, not, well, so-and-so said I have to do stiff-legged deadlifts to have good hamstrings, you know. A hamstring is responsible for knee flexion, and then your hamstring and glute combined are responsible for hip extension. So, in my opinion, the best way to train knee flexion is with that seated hamstring. You're really able to drive that knee up into the pad and get a full contraction, and then on that glute ham, you know, you're able to really drive the knee down and your hips forward at the same time, so you really are able to train that hamstring and that glute, you know, at the, like, towards, you know, full flexion and extension at the same time. So I really like that exercise. But hamstrings, in my experience, is one of those things that is very person dependent. Leg training in general is very person dependent, just based on, you know, confluence of factors, with like the big ones being, you know, like femur length, tibia length, you know, how flat or how arched your foot is. You know, everybody's different. So me personally, I told you what I feel and what I don't, but it's definitely on y'all to figure out what you feel and what you don't feel when it comes to hamstrings. Nick's like, you long-winded motherfucker, stop talking.